Hello, you are listening to the Pointers podcast. I'm here with Jordan.
Hello.
And I'm Manu. And
You are.
Yeah. And this is episode 2 since the rebrand.
Yeah, how exciting.
Yeah.
The sequel to the long-awaited sequel.
The squeakquel.
To the highly anticipated comeback.
Yeah. So we're back and we're at it again.
Now, I did promise this would be the more structured episode.
And it will be.
Let's hope.
I'm gonna do a little romp of what's around the room because it's kind of funny.
It's a mess.
It is a mess. We were organizing my Blu-ray collection.
It's an organized mess, to be fair.
Yeah, it is an organized mess. It's just a bunch of piles of Blu-rays and stuff. Well, it's like this one that I have here as a tripod.
But as you can maybe tell, these are all eyes.
All eyes on us.
All eyes on us. My favorite movie.
These are all the eyes that I own.
Yeah.
Not many eyes.
There's not actually that many eyes. Anyway,
No.
yeah, we alphabetized his entire Blu-ray collection.
So there's piles for every letter.
So it's
everywhere.
actually the most organized mess you might have ever seen, because you might think they're random piles.
No.
But actually what you're looking at is all the M's, all the H's.
Yeah, all the arrows and steel
all
books.
the arrows, yeah, you got all the Pixar movies. So actually, if anything, some might not call this a mess. Some might call this an interesting looking library.
There
you know?
Oh, you can browse around. A library would be so boring on a shelf. Who wants that?
It's all about discovery.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we like to bring fun to this.
My favorite Star Trek show.
Yeah. Haven't seen it.
Me neither.
Actually, tell a lie. I saw the first 5 minutes of that show, and I remember, bearing in mind I know very little about the Star Trek canon, right?
Yeah.
Apart from the J.J. Abrams ones.
Do you need to know anything about the Star Trek canon?
I don't think so. I think that's the appeal of it, right?
Yeah.
And I remember there was a woman that was on the ship, and then it wasn't like Star Trek related particularly, and then the ship blasts off and leaves literally the shape of the Star Trek logo in the ground, and I was like, yeah.
Wow.
I was like, don't know if that's good or not.
I want to see Picard.
I don't.
Why?
I've heard very mixed things.
Apparently it's really good. Paul really likes it.
Paul?
Lecturer Paul.
Does he?
Yeah.
No way. I've heard very mixed things about Picard, and I don't think I'm gonna watch it, but I've seen one scene from it, and it's brutal.
As in,
I mean, graphic.
Damn.
Weirdly graphic, and I was like, geez,
Yeah.
Star Wars, Star Trek.
Yeah, we should do an episode on Star Trek because I would love to talk about Star Trek.
I'm gonna be such a newbie though.
I don't remember much. I used to be really into Star Trek when I was from the age of 12 to
I never got into
15.
I don't know why.
I got into it with Into Darkness.
Yeah, because I remember going to see Star Trek in 2009. It was really cool.
I didn't go.
It was really great, and then
I love it.
And then I'm a big defender of the Abrams ones. To be fair, I think they're really good. They
That's
might
really
be
great.
more. They maybe not what Star Trek actually is.
No,
but I think they're really cool.
I love Into Darkness. I think it's great. Haven't seen Beyond yet.
Oh, Beyond's so much. You'll like Beyond because Beyond's apparently the more faithful one to the original.
I think I like it because it from the premise sounds like an episode of the original show.
Yeah,
because they're stuck in a planet.
Simon Pegg wrote it, right? Simon Pegg's a big fan, so I really like it.
And they stuck in a planet for the whole thing.
Yeah, basically, it feels like an episode.
I'm excited.
So it's really cool.
I need to watch it. It's the only one I don't own.
Really, I've got him. We can watch him at some point. It's great. It's really fun.
So yeah. Keep yourself peeled.
Keep yourself peeled
for an episode of Pointers on Star Trek. That'd be cool.
The whole of Star Trek. Does that mean we have to watch everything?
No, we'll watch the original film.
Yeah,
it's bad.
I haven't seen any of them.
Really?
I haven't seen Wrath of Khan, and everyone goes on about Wrath of Khan.
The motion picture is bad.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah.
Even one of my manager at work was is a diehard Star Trek fan, and he's always he defends the first one, but he's same. It's super slow.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Yeah,
Wrath of Khan is awesome. We should watch that.
Yeah, I really want to see that. To be fair,
I wouldn't say I've seen it. I've definitely seen it.
Because I remember the reveal in Into Darkness. Spoilers for Into Darkness, I guess.
But it is.
But where J.J. Abrams was like, it's not Khan, the entire time denying everybody's like, it's definitely Khan.
Yeah.
And then in the film, he goes, I am Khan. And then I don't know how old I was. I was 13 when it came out.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I don't know who that is. That reveal means nothing to me. He was like, I'm Khan. I was like, all right, cool. I guess that's fine.
It's great. It's a cool scene.
Like,
I wasn't into Star Trek back then when I saw it. That's what got me into it. But...
Interesting. I used to get them from the library, the original series. The steel Blu-ray, the steel DVD case. I got that from the library originally, then bought it.
Damn. I really want to get the Blu-ray release of that.
Yeah, it'd be pretty cool, but
it
never grabbed me.
Looks great. Really?
Never grabbed me. Don't know why.
You said you like the original.
No,
series.
I like the original series, but I've never felt compelled to watch Next Generation.
Original series is the best.
Deep Space Nine or anything
like
that.
Next Generation is great, but
Yeah.
People love Next Generation more than.
I guess
the
maybe
original.
I'll give it another go. It's just so dense now as well. There's so much.
But not really.
Really?
Well, there's a lot, but it's not dense. It's not like
No,
Star Wars
not like-
lore.
Isn't it? I
No,
thought it was.
no, not
Really?
at all.
Hmm.
It's way less lore heavy.
Really?
And way less politics heavy as well, which is
Really?
yeah.
Oh, interesting.
I mean, than Star Wars, yeah, sure, yeah.
Damn.
Star Wars.
I
is
always
massive.
thought. I know it is now,
Well,
especially. But I always thought like.
Well, there is
especially at
much
the
more
time-
of Star Trek, but it's not that heavy.
I don't know. It always seemed far too daunting to approach it. You know.
That makes sense.
So I don't know. But
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah. Keep yourself peeled for that.
Yes, please do.
That's our new catchphrase, by the way.
Obviously, it's iconic already. Of course.
Keep yourself peeled.
Keep yourself peeled. We wanted to talk about. Well, we have Burning Girl.
Yeah.
So hopefully, you faithful listeners have already
fair.
have watched Gone Girl and Burning.
Mhm.
Our keyword was vanish.
Yeah.
And so
And it worked for
I guess
both.
we can talk about later on the how that applies. It's pretty clear for one of them.
Yeah.
But I mean, the other one, it's cool, right?
Yeah.
So hopefully you've seen those. So that'll be our in the loop section later on.
Yeah.
But for
now-
now, we want to talk about Palm Springs.
We do. Palm Springs.
Palm Springs. Palm Springs.
Palm Springs.
As James Franco would say.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it came out.
A couple weeks ago?
When did it originally come out? When did it release
It was-
in festivals?
Sundance.
Sundance.
So
which is
earlier this year.
Earlier this year, yeah. Okay.
January,
So it's not been around long. Like, it's been on
No.
the radar since early this year.
Yeah.
Right. I remember seeing a couple of reviews for it and I thought it sounded really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know it was going to drop this early, though, to be fair. I
Yeah.
didn't know it was going to
It's
come
the.
out.
I think it's the early. No, it's like one of the earliest Sundance ones because never early, sometimes always dropped earlier.
Right.
but
Yeah. So, I mean,
It's the It's a world record breaker.
it
It's
is.
the most expensive film to be bought at Sundance. It was
Which
bought
is
for
really
16
cool.
mil
That's great.
by Hulu.
I love that. How much did it cost as well? That'd be interesting to find
No
out because
clue.
it's not. It's not. It doesn't look super expensive, but it looks like it's really
looks nice.
polished, right?
Yeah,
It looks
yeah.
really nice.
The cinematography is great.
So just to explain what it is, I guess,
Mhm.
because I knew virtually nothing
Let's
about
not
it.
spoil it for a bit, and then we can do.
Yeah, no,
Like, 'cause
yeah,
we
we're
haven't
gonna do
told
like
people
a,
we're
like
going
a
to
talk
talk
about it, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not sure how many people have watched it as well. Like, I want it to be on more
Yeah.
people's radars. Okay,
We'll do a call out for people to watch it.
So, I guess the basic plot, without really going into it too much, is it's Andy Samberg, and I can't remember what's the actress's name. She's really
Kristen
great.
Milioti.
How do you say her name?
Kristen Milioti.
Okay, it's them two.
Yeah.
And it's a rom-com essentially. It's
Yeah.
it's a rom-com, but it's a time loop movie.
Yep.
Which, I mean, you've seen plenty of time loop movies, right? Like, there's especially now. There's been a few. There's been a few different riffs on it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we've had Happy Death Day,
And Edge of Tomorrow.
Edge of Tomorrow. I mean,
Live, Die,
Groundhog's
Repeat.
Days. Yeah, Live, Die, Repeat. But they've all been like those time loop movies in particular have been riffs on the original Groundhog Day,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
This feels like
It's on
the next, I would say, the logical evolution from Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
Like, it infuses genre
think-
tropes
Yeah.
from various time loop movies, like Edge of Tomorrow's action, right? And we've got Happy Death Day horror, and then I haven't seen Happy Death Day 2,
Me neither.
but
I really like the first one though.
yeah, it was really fun. And this one, I don't know, it feels like the logical next step, right?
I was thinking about it because as much as I love Edge of Tomorrow, not so much. But Happy Death Day does seem like, and they reference Groundhog Day.
Mhm.
It feels like, oh, we're doing this because it works, because we know it works.
Sure.
I don't think Palm Springs is that. I think Palm Springs would have been the same film if Groundhog Day wasn't a thing.
Sure. Well, it's hard to say because
I think
obviously
so.
it is very self-aware. And basically the plot is of Palm Springs, if you haven't heard of it. Go watch it now anyway, just without even hearing the plot, right? But it's Andy Samberg and Kristen Milioti. Is
Yeah,
it? Okay, no, we
Milioti.
nailed it. And basically...
I could be saying it wrong.
You could, that's true. Basically, these it's set at a wedding in Palm Springs, and it's this it's Kristen Milioti's character's sister's wedding,
Yeah.
right?
She's played by that girl in Riverdale.
The girl in Riverdale, and they're getting married, and basically it follows her, and she's kind of like not particularly happy at this wedding, and you're not really sure why, and she kind of encounters this drunken Andy Samberg,
Oh, what a
who
babe.
is fantastic in this film.
Yeah.
And there's something off about him, and it's really well handled. And so basically, he's already in the time loop.
Yeah.
Is the gimmick of this film?
That is
I say
the
gimmick. He's already in the time loop, and she gets dragged. She wanders into the time loop.
Yeah.
Right. She gets into the time loop unexpectedly, and it's basically I guess the gimmick is those two are in the time loop together, right?
Yeah.
Which is something we haven't really seen before,
No.
to my knowledge. And so basically, it's a rom-com of those two stuck in a time loop, and then
That's great.
You know, all the antics that kind of sprang from that.
We don't really have to spoil it, really. It's a film you can talk about without spoiling.
No, I don't think we need to, actually, to be fair. But
it's just great. We loved it.
It's so much fun.
It is. It's a great, like, watch with friends.
It really is.
Sunday afternoon.
Yeah. It's just a really fun film. And
It
it's
is.
super short as well. It's like 90 minutes as well.
It flies.
And it never feels like it's trying to be anything more than it is as well, which I thought... Really I always like it when films do that, when they know exactly what they are.
Yeah, the tone is really well...
The tone's great.
Got.
And it's Andy Samberg in a role that is perfect for him, but also like lets him use a few of his muscles he doesn't normally use, right?
Absolutely.
Like he like his character isn't he's not like Jake Peralta in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, right? Like he's not a caricature kind of thing.
No, he's not doing a hot fuzz.
He is a person.
Yeah.
Which I really I thought they were going to do the Andy Samberg.
It gets deep.
It does, right? Like I mean, to an extent, but it's actually goes into the characters and why they are that way, right?
Absolutely.
And I don't know, I was impressed by how much it actually explored with a character stuck in a time loop, right? And what I think the best part is it knows it's very self-aware, which is why I don't think it necessarily could exist without Groundhog Day, because you know it doesn't take it takes what you know about Groundhog Day and expands upon it, right? Like it doesn't feel the need to over-explain to you.
Yeah, I guess
the loop, right? It's like, oh, we're not going to reference Groundhog Day,
but
really.
Yeah.
And it's
but if you haven't seen Groundhog Day, you still get it.
No, 100%. I mean,
yeah.
Like it's like it knows you're like so you've got that knowledge of what a time loop is subconsciously built into you because everyone's seen Groundhog Day, right? Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I thought it was really cool. It felt like the next step in the time loop film, and I think it's the best time loop movie that.
I agree.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Groundhog Day in a while.
Neither have I, to be fair. But I remember like it's great.
Yeah. I love it. Like when I was a kid, I loved it. It was one of my favorites. But
as someone, well, we both love Andy Samberg, right?
Yeah.
As someone who thinks Pop Star is probably the most brilliant comedy ever made.
It's great.
It just felt like perfect for me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. We watched it with Johnny, our friend Johnny, who we've mentioned in the other episode.
We have. He's been.
I don't think he loved it as much as we did.
No, he didn't, and
it might be a biased thing for Andy Samberg.
100% could be. 100% could be, and it's also like I don't know. It's just the humor's great.
It is.
It's really, really great.
Just pinpoint our sense of humor.
And really. one of the other things as well, I love how there's certain things in a time loop film, and I've mentioned this to you before, where you ask questions. I can't explain what they do in it, but I always think in a time loop movie, well, what if they just do this, right? And
they do it.
It's like in a time loop film, you think, oh, well, they don't really have time to do that, and that's not really that interesting. Yeah. There's a couple of things in this where they actually do the logical thing to do if you're stuck in a time loop, right? Where you have literally all the time in the world to do something. Yeah. I'm like, why do they never do that? And I was really surprised they actually do something like that. Yeah. And it sounds super vague, but I thought it was really cool, and it's actually like
I know what you mean,
an integral part of the film as well. Yeah. And I was like, you know what? Great, love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
It's cute as well.
It is, and the colors pop as well.
They do.
It looks beautiful.
Yeah. Well, it's shot in. Well, I don't know if it's shot on location, but it's supposed to be Palm Springs, so I think great.
It is.
Might be. I don't know why it wouldn't.
But it's so colourful, and it's just like it just is like the production design on it, and like there's the poster is literally them on the pizza slice, what are they called?
Like floating.
Lilos. That's what
they're called.
I mean, that's a word for them.
Really?
Lilos, yeah.
Lilos.
It might not be called that elsewhere.
Probably not.
But in my tiny hometown, Lilos.
Lilos.
Anyway, Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, I don't know, but I don't know. It's just it feels like literally it feels like a cartoon. Yeah. To me, which is some of my favorite films.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
It feels like a Sunday morning, or you could just watch like.
Which is why. Like I wrote like a tiny thing on Letterboxd, and I said I compared it to Ready or Not in the sense that those two films feel like cartoons. Yeah. Like if you literally translated that, the tone is the same.
I agree.
It's maybe more vulgar and more graphic in Ready or Not.
Ready or Not.
But it's the similar kind of tone, and I really love that. I wish more films like that existed. Yeah. You know?
We should make one.
I'd love to.
The point is movie.
The point is movie. But yeah. Is there anything you didn't like?
No, there was something that I completely forgot. There was a point in the film where I thought, "Wow, I don't like this," and then the film finished, and I was trying to find out what it was for my Letterboxd review, and I couldn't remember what it was. There was something they did that I didn't love, and I can't remember what it was. honestly.
I genuinely can't remember anything that in particular. Like, it's not a perfect film. I'm not going to say anything
No,
that's a perfect film. But it feels very tightly crafted.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
in the sense that, like I would say 95% of the jokes landed for me. I can't think of one in particular that I was like, no, not quite. And I don't know. It just felt like every scene felt important.
Yeah.
And the characters were strong enough. Those two in particular were so strong that I was just on board.
And there's J.K. Simmons.
J.K. Simmons is in this film, which is amazing.
Which I didn't know.
No, I
didn't.
I just randomly looked at
Because he shows up once, and you don't really see his face.
No.
But then he shows up again. They explain the character.
That is a genius character.
It is genius.
That's amazing. So, I mean, if you've seen the film, you know his role, right? Yeah. But it's great. It's so great.
J.K. Simmons in comedic roles is a great, fantastic thing that should happen more often.
And the way they introduce how you start the time loop, right, and everything like that, it just makes sense. Yeah. And it's really cool. Yeah. There's a couple of like questions afterwards. I was like, but what if they did this? And that's a whole other film, right? Like,
absolutely.
You can do a lot with time loops, obviously, but this one seems to make sense. Like, there wasn't anything like, oh, why don't they just do this? That doesn't make any sense. Like, it didn't cross my mind.
Everything makes sense for the characters as well.
Yeah. And I love how they peel away at them as well.
Yeah.
Peel. Everyone's peeled in Palm Springs. No, it's like, I don't know, everyone's just, like, the best part is, I think, is Andy Samberg's character at first, like, you're like, oh, there's something going on with him, but are they going to explore it, right? And it would be bad if they didn't explore it. Like, it would feel really thin.
Yeah.
But the fact that, like, you think, oh, that's why he's this way, and you start to peel back, and you think, oh, okay, this is actually really, really quite...
It is.
Wholesome, right?
Yeah.
And endearing. And I actually care for him, which is something I didn't expect. I thought it was going to be this kind of... Like, oh, it's Andy Samberg in a time loop.
Fun. Yeah,
cool, you know?
He's careless.
But,
which he is. He is careless. And that's the point of the character.
It's why he's careless, which is what makes it work so well. And she's also just as great a character as well.
Yeah.
Because, I mean...
Because for a rom-com, they're so intricate.
They are. And it's like, what would happen if you put them both together? Like, what do those two people do?
Yeah.
And I don't know. Just the way they don't talk to each other sometimes.
Yeah.
Is really great.
It is.
It's so much fun. So much fun. And they just... you can just tell the director's having a shitload of fun.
It's a first feature as well, which is really impressive.
It's really well directed.
It is. It's one of those comedies that just feels good.
Yeah. It's just so polished. That's one of the best things about it. And I'm so happy it's doing well because people seem to be talking
People
are
loving it.
Yeah.
It's like the highest grossing, I don't know, but like the highest one watched film in Hulu this week.
And I guess the highest recommendation I can say about it is it finished and I was like, I could rewind it, right? Which is the best compliment.
I could watch that again.
Honestly,
every day.
It's so Maybe great, like a time loop.
Yeah.
Time loop of Palm Springs.
Yeah, and you do rewatch a lot of it because it is a time loop, right?
Yeah, it's just, I know it's such a fun environment as well.
Yeah,
to be in, it's just everything about. Because I always find it interesting, like how when you approach writing a time loop movie, that day has to be so interesting. Yeah. And you have to do a really good job of setting up. Like at the start, right, when you're not really paying too much attention, you have to set up everything. It's so important because that's essentially the movie, right?
Every time of day, the gimmick starts with what day it is, right? Yeah, because that's the point of like
it's
Groundhog
Day.
It's Groundhog Day.
But the idea that you have to in like the first 10 minutes, you have to establish what happens in that day
and why it's important.
Yeah, and all those things you're going to be seeing way more than once, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's cool. I always like watching how writers do it.
Yeah. Because in Happy Death Day, I would say Happy Death Day is the less inspired, but I still love it.
Sure. Because Edge of Tomorrow has the gimmick where like
Edge of Tomorrow is weird.
Edge of Tomorrow is
different.
More of a It's they approach it in the sense that like it is a trial and error thing.
Yeah.
Which they don't do that much in Palm Springs. Actually.
No.
Like, it's kind
of Groundhog Day has it a bit.
Yeah. But like they coast through it a lot,
which I really like.
And it's great. It's really cool. But
it is definitely there, but
yeah, for sure. Like it absolutely doesn't ignore influences. It wears them completely on its sleeve, but it never goes. It never. Well, I didn't catch it. It's not like I'm not a diehard fan of Groundhog Day or anything, but I never caught like a wink, wink.
No.
Bill Murray's in this kind of thing, you know. Like it never goes.
Happy Death Day to You does not to you the first one.
Yeah, nice.
Maybe Happy Death Day to You does it as well.
Maybe
I haven't seen it.
I really want to see that though.
Me too.
But
don't own it.
Go watch Palm Springs.
Go watch it.
It's really, really
it's on Hulu if you're in America.
Yeah.
And you can probably get a hold of it if you're not.
Almost definitely. And I'm hoping they do a Blu-ray release of it.
Someone was they do.
Do they?
Yeah, I don't know about Big Time Adolescence, but I know actually I don't know actually.
I can't think of anything. What
is it?
Because obviously, like Parasite.
Yeah, because those are Neon.
Yeah.
Neon has a partnership with Hulu.
Who owns Palm Springs currently?
Well, in the UK, someone's distributing it. We were told the other day.
Okay. So it could get a release then.
It might. Well, we were saying that it might go to Prime in the UK, which is great.
Yeah.
Which would be great.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Because it's distributed by someone who has a deal with Prime. I can't remember who.
Okay, cool. So at least it's like available to watch.
It will be.
I'd quite like to own it though.
Me too.
It'd be great.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
So yeah, go watch Palm Springs, 100%.
It's fantastic.
Please. It's really, really great. I genuinely think it's the best film of the year so far.
Yeah, same.
In a year where The Five Bloods happened, and I absolutely adored The Five Bloods.
Still haven't seen it. And I adore Never Rarely Sometimes Always.
Haven't seen it yet, but I will do.
I adore that's really good.
But I'm just Palm Springs. What a pleasant surprise.
Yeah, and for a year that's been so slow as well, it's just nice.
Yeah. Yeah, it felt like it just came at the right time. It was like an injection of like, movies are great, right?
And it's a good lockdown film.
It is. Well, it's almost like reminding you.
You're stuck.
You're stuck.
On the same day, which we technically...
God, that's so depressing.
It is.
But it's like, you can have fun on the same day.
Yeah.
Which obviously not what they intended, but I mean, at least it's there, right?
That's
at least that's a reading of the film.
It is.
So Andy Samberg's always there, but...
Yeah.
But imagine being stuck in a time loop for real.
Well, we were talking about it the other day, what we would do.
Yeah, because like...
We could record this episode every day.
Every day, but then no one would listen to it.
Well...
I don't know, it's just so...
People would in that every universe we create.
Would they?
I don't know how it works.
I don't know, it's just crazy.
And we did get an idea of a time loop film we want to write.
We did. It was the logical next step.
Yeah.
So if they ever do a Palm Springs 2 and they do it, I'll be like, damn.
Yeah.
Robbed of the logical idea that would come next. But
absolutely.
Yeah. So Palm Springs.
Right. Before we get into Burning Girl, In the Loop.
In the Loop.
In the Loop.
In the Loop. Loop.
Was that the... But we're not doing that yet. That's the intro to In the Loop.
Okay, I'll do it later.
Yeah. We'll do the intro to In the Loop later. Before we get into that, I want to touch on something we've been watching as well.
Okay.
A lot.
Oh, okay. It's this, right?
Yeah, because we talked about it on the first ever episode of The Point Is. You did ramble and explain to me. It wasn't that long. We listened to it back the other day.
It wasn't.
I fully thought it was like 10 minutes, and it wasn't that bad.
I swear, there's a point you did it earlier as well, where you explained. Because I remember when you explained the show to me.
Yeah.
It was really, really big.
Right, so, and when I talked about it first, you didn't know about it. You hadn't seen it, but now you have.
I've been slowly introduced to this show, and I am absolutely in love with it.
Because it is the best thing ever. It is. And we're talking about, of course, Nathan For You. The classic Comedy Central
Nathan
show.
For You. Like,
it's
don't
genius.
even, I mean, right, look, pause this. Pause this and go watch Nathan For You.
All of it.
It's so funny.
It is. It really is.
It kills me.
It's really
like,
good.
I've cried several times
me too.
after watching
and
it.
I've seen it already. This is my second watch through of the whole thing. Mm-hmm. And there's things that I didn't remember that caught me off guard. You've seen me laugh out loud.
Some of it, like, especially when you forget moments of the show.
Because there are like 6 moments that are perfect.
Genius. Do you want to explain what it is for people? Because I don't know how many people are aware of it.
I think you should explain it because I'm really bad at explaining it.
So, like, it's a Comedy Central show, right? It's 20-minute episodes generally. Yeah. There's a couple longer ones, but generally the 20-minute episodes are really easy to watch. And it's about a guy called Nathan Fielder, who is a Canadian business advisor
living in Los Angeles.
Very, very awkward, right?
Yeah,
very, very awkward, and he knows that he's awkward. Is the thing, right?
He plays on
he absolutely plays on the fact he's super awkward, right?
Yeah,
and he's a business advisor that goes around California and helps struggling businesses with
get along.
Just get along, right? But he presents these insane, elaborate ideas to help people to help these businesses along, right? And some of these are like, you think, why are people saying yes to them, right? And the people they get on just say yes to everything he does, and just watching
it's a really good window into America and just America on TV and America.
I'm sure
on
there's
TV.
An amazing essay you can get done on Nathan Fielder.
I
right?
tried,
But,
and I got an awful mark.
But
So just don't worry.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's 4 seasons.
Yeah.
We've watched 3.5 in about a week.
Yeah, it's totally doable. You can binge it.
It's so watchable.
Yeah.
And the thing is,
there were days where we got back from like a night out. Well, not a night out because it's lockdown, but like drinking with some friends.
Yeah, sure. And you
we
immediately
and we put on an episode,
like an hour,
and we watched like 4 in a row.
And so essentially the idea is that you is that the 20 minutes long, but he'll help maybe 2 or 3 businesses generally per episode.
Them,
So you've only got like it's like watching 3 YouTube videos essentially, right? That's what it kind of reminds me of. So you're watching 3 different like small business ideas, but the way they handle it is so because it's shot like a diners, drive-ins, and dives like reality.
Well,
like,
it is
US TV show, right? And it's beautiful, man.
It's
the way like. It's shot extremely self-aware as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like they play 100% on Nathan's ineptitude and social anxiety, and it's so good. Like I don't know, I'm a big fan. But we've been watching. We've got maybe 4 episodes left.
Yeah,
and there's a big one.
There's the last episode, which is called Finding Francis, in which he uses the resources of the show to help this guy. I don't want to over-explain it. There's this guy who he hires a bunch of times during the show, like 3 times during the show, because he's a Bill Gates impersonator.
Yep. Which is about as amazing as it sounds already.
Microsoft.
that's all he does.
That's all he talks about is how great it was when they started Microsoft. But so he's a Bill Gates impersonator, and then they're doing a commentary track for one of the DVDs for one of the episodes he's in, and he talks about this Frances he used to know when he was young. And how he should have married her, and she got away. It's the one that got away, right?
Yeah.
So the whole feature-length, like 90-minute episode, is them using the resources of the show and using the kind of like tactics he uses all the time to like trick people to find this Francis.
I'm very excited, and the thing that's surprising about it is each episode feels like it's like a bottle episode, right? Like it feels like a one-off.
Yeah.
But the way they tie it rewards you watching it, like and sticking with it, right? Which is what was really interesting because like if you can watch any episode generally out of order, right?
Yeah.
But one of the coolest things is he does have an arc in the show, and I haven't finished the arc.
No.
But you can see where it's going, right? And it's so cute. Yeah. I love it so much.
Yeah, it's great. You will cry.
It's so wholesome.
Yeah.
And I don't know, there's some moments in it I was like so proud of Nathan.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it.
Because even if he is a character, which I don't think he is, to an extent, I think he might be
I 100% think he's playing on it.
He might be a bit, but I think he is that awkward.
But I don't know. But
it is interesting.
I 100% believe the things that are happening in it are real.
Yeah.
Because obviously these are true life situations.
It has
actual
to be real.
like situations that happen, but it's him playing on his own awkwardness, right? Like he's very clever.
Yeah, there's some bits that are definitely not the way he presents them. It's not the actual thing that happened,
and
which he plays on a lot.
Yeah, and the cast of characters you actually end up.
It is a window to the weird side of America.
There's an episode early in the 4th season. I think it's the first episode of the 4th season, which we watched last night. Which is like a wrap up, right? Kind of like a celebration of the season so far.
It's called Nathan Fielder Celebration.
And they bring in a load of like guests they had on the show beforehand.
To like catch up.
And it just illustrates how good that whole I say cast, but it's real people. How colourful that cast of people are. And
I will never
so
forget.
many personalities. And there's when people return in it, I'm like, yes.
I will never forget Anthony Napoli.
It's brilliant. Just go watch it, please. Go watch it.
You should. It's people will compare him to, especially Finding Francis, to Abbas Kiarostami.
Sure. Because
the whole Kiarostami gimmick, not in his more like narrative films, but this is like going from like the simplest thing to Abbas Kiarostami, right? Mm-hmm. His gimmick is mixing real life and fiction, right?
Yeah.
That's what,
having not seen any of his films.
That's what Close Up is
that's generally
about.
The idea, right?
So people compare him to him a lot because it is about finding through fiction, which he doesn't really do fiction. Through fiction, finding very real moments.
Mediating the real.
It is mediating the real, which it's really genius. And it is interesting how they could be seen. If you watch a random episode, it's just like, oh, this is fun and stupid, but it does reward you watching the whole thing.
No, that's what I thought was really cool about it, because it can be taken at face value, right? And you can just laugh at it, which obviously it's designed for.
Yeah.
But the fact that there is that extra layer underneath it just makes it all the more special.
And it makes the ending wonderful.
And I'm like, when we finish Finding Francis, we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Because
Well, we're watching it as soon as we finish this.
Like, I'm very excited.
Yeah.
But yeah, go watch Nathan for You, honestly, and
It's
then come
wonderful.
back because it's great.
It's really
it
good.
really is great. And some of the stuff they do, you think, how did that even happen?
Yeah.
Like, you
There's
question
some-
everything. It's wonderful.
There's some clips on they upload Comedy Central uploads some of the business ideas on YouTube as clips. So you can
just watch that. Just
go
as an introduction to it, because it's great. And it's so easy to watch.
Oh. And
So
he's great. And the show finished in 2017. He signed a deal with HBO for a new show, and I'm very excited.
Cool. How exciting. Yeah. So yeah. But I could rewatch it again, all of it now.
Same. I have.
I know, which is great.
Yeah.
That's a testament to how we watch.
And I never go on my phone or like I watch it.
Because it's just locked in. because as well, one of the good things about it is it's not like you're not idly watching it. Like literally everything
is.
There'll be
super
points
tight.
where I've looked at my phone and then you've got, did you see that?
Yeah.
And then I've got, no, I didn't see it. And then we've gone back, we've literally rewound it. And there's the
tiny
things,
minute gestures he does.
There's just simple cuts in it.
Yeah.
Great. There's moments of silence in it straight after a cut, which is glorious. Or just little character gestures and stuff. You just think, perfect. Yeah. Right. And I just love that.
You couldn't. It's one of those things that exemplifies how great real life is and how life is stranger than fiction. You couldn't write this.
No, you couldn't. That's the thing, and it boggles my mind.
But he does write. Like he does get to a point, right? So I don't understand. He is masterful because he has to guide people to what he wants.
Well, that's the thing, like, as well, obviously, like, these are real people, but he is guiding you.
Yeah, absolutely.
He, 100% is manipulating you the entire time. He knows how awkward he is, and he knows what people will do under certain pressures, right?
Yeah.
And it's just great.
It is fantastic.
It really is. Go watch Nathan for You. I can't talk highly of it enough.
It's so good.
But...
So yeah, that's what we've been doing this past weeks. Should we say In the Loop at the same time, and then we can do a little...
And now I think we go, and it's time for In the Loop. Loop.
Okay. And it...
I think
you say and it's time for
fine,
and I'll join for In the Loop.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
This is so sad because there's video for it, so... Come on.
Okay. And it's time for... In the
Loop.
Loop.
I was going to do that digitally, but okay.
Nope.
Okay, we'll do it again.
Oh, boy. And it's time for...
In the Loop.
Loop. So yeah, it's time for In the Loop. Our amazing segment.
Where we mash up two films. Each episode we recommend a film each that we both have to watch, both films.
Based on a word generated randomly.
Yeah. And then we combine both titles to create the In the Loop title.
And no matter how tenuous the link as well. It was quite an easy one this time.
Yeah, it was.
But we're going to do this on the fly this time. So last time we did it beforehand just to think of a film, right? But we're not going to do that this time. So we'll maybe generate the word and then give us some time to think about it.
Yeah.
But yeah. So if you hadn't watched the first episode, please do.
Yeah.
Obviously. But the word was vanish.
Yeah.
And so immediately came to mind. I went for a pretty easy one, right? Mm-hmm. What is the illogical vanish, Manu?
The logical vanish is the Invisible Man.
That's true. Not where I was going with that one. That is very true.
But
anything, I was smarter than that then. Because I didn't go for the basic boy one. I went for a slightly less basic boy one.
So he went for Gone Girl.
I went Gone Girl.
Just the 2014 David Fincher epic.
Yeah, epic. And you went for 2018's Burning.
Oh.
Which obviously combines to make Burning Girl.
A classic.
Not the Burning Girl as we established in the first episode.
Nope, just Burning Girl.
So, we'll talk about Gone Girl first.
Yeah,
I think
we'll do that.
So I'm hoping you've watched both films, viewers at home.
You should.
You absolutely should, and we are going to spoil the films.
Yeah, we
just
are
outright.
Definitely.
We're not going to talk spoiler free. We're just going to talk outright.
Yeah.
Because it just makes it's just quicker, right? And I'm assuming most people have seen Gone Girl. Gone Girl is quite a big one.
Yeah. People saw it when it came out.
Yeah. Burning, maybe not so much. Burning had been on my radar for a while.
Same.
But Gone Girl. Let's talk.
Yeah. So spoilers, just for everyone.
Well, basically, you probably know this. But
she is gone.
She is a gone girl. Basically, the plot of Gone Girl is you've got a married couple, Ben Affleck and Rosamund Pike. Oh. You see them kind of like the structure is you kind of see them meeting.
Yeah.
And then you cut in between their life now. And when they first met,
when they met throughout the relationship.
Yeah, sure. So you kind of see it blossom, and then you maybe start to see it degrade, right?
Oh, maybe.
And the idea, one day he comes home and she's literally gone.
She's gone.
She has vanished, as the key word was. She's disappeared, right? And it looks like she's died, right?
Yeah,
it literally, there's blood on the floor.
Yeah, it looks like he's killed her.
And so the implication is the cops think he's killed her.
Yeah,
the media's on his back.
Everyone hates him.
You're like, well, she's either been kidnapped or like, or she's dead, right? She's a gone girl. So it's essentially it's a huge scathing criticism of the media, right?
Yeah.
And just how people like jump on you so quickly on the smallest of things, right? There's literally zero empathy at all. And it's what I think one of the best parts is people pretend they have empathy for him. They do.
Well. There's the whole bit where
it's just so grim.
There's the empathy groupies and shit.
Yeah, it's
great.
It's just so disingenuous.
Yeah,
and it's really quite fascinating. And I mean, I've seen
it's a really good script,
but it's Gillian Flynn, isn't it? That's how you say it. Gillian Flynn.
Who's written amazing.
I mean, she's written a ton of books. I haven't read any of them.
Widows.
Widow. No, she didn't write Widows.
She did.
She wrote the screenplay for Widows. She didn't write the book.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were talking about the books. So it's it's David Fincher. It's right up his alley, right?
Yeah.
And it's basically like Ben Affleck's. You're not entirely sure if he's done it, right? No. But it's like he's trying to prove his own innocence, but at the same time you're kind of questioning what's going on.
Yeah.
And then
the reveal.
This happens. And then spoilers now, right? So the reveal is it about an hour in?
Yeah, we looked it up. It's like an hour, 4 minutes in.
About an hour in,
we have
it's revealed that Rosamund Pike's character, Amy, has literally like set him up. Yeah, and it's great. It's great, and it's really cool.
What is the speech that she does? It's not the nice girl.
The cool girl.
The cool girl speech.
Yeah, there's the cool girl speech, and it's just. The way they do it's really intricate as well. It's really well handled.
It is. And it's super like purposeful where they put it as well.
And it's what we were talking about David Fincher in this film. Yeah. And it's simultaneously one of the most Finchery films he's ever made.
And the least intrusive.
And by that, it's not like it doesn't feel like Fight Club. No. It doesn't feel super hyper stylized, right?
Not at all.
But it's absolutely David Fincher.
Yeah, but his filmmaking never gets in the way of the story. Which he never does.
It's true. It never gets in the way of the story, but there are films specifically that feel so Finchery.
Yeah.
And there's Fincher-isms.
There's Fincher-isms, right?
And
so
that's kind of
Zodiac is very...
Yeah, absolutely.
Like,
but it takes a back seat, right?
Absolutely.
There's no overhead taxi driving shot from Zodiac, right? There's none of that.
There's one fancy shot where he gets an envelope and puts it... We talked about it.
Which one?
There's a shot where he literally grabs an envelope and puts it down, and the camera goes.
Oh, there's a couple bits like that, but it's just so smooth.
It is. Which is to expect, right?
But it's like it's one of those things that just like warms my heart. Yeah. Like just to see something so perfectly done, right? Everything in it is perfect.
Yeah, the performances.
Technically, though, from a technical perspective, that thing
everything's perfect. There's no shot that's.
Which you obviously expect, which is why you absolutely should watch Mindhunter.
I should.
Because it's like that, but for 20 hours.
Yeah, I should.
So it's bliss. It's literally bliss. You can just sit back and be so invested because you know there's nothing wrong with it. Right?
I want to watch it. I'll finish it. I've started it.
Yeah, it's great. But everyone's so good in this film.
Yeah. Neil Patrick Harris, amazing.
Yeah. Everyone's so good.
I mean, Ben Affleck is insane.
Ben Affleck's brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Have you heard the story about his baseball cap situation?
No.
So I was reading about this afterwards. So there's a scene where he's in the airport.
Yeah.
I can't remember where he's going.
He's got a cap on.
Yeah, he's good. No, but he's trying
to have it.
He's sat there, and then the news footage of him
and his sister. That's the bit with the sister.
And these two guys behind him start talking about him. Yeah. And he puts a baseball cap on.
Yeah.
So Ben Affleck refused to wear one of the baseball team's caps, right? He was like, "I love you, David, but I'm not wearing this cap," right? And apparently it sent them back 4 days. Which is incredible.
Wow.
And apparently in the commentary he's like jokingly calls him unprofessional, right? It's like Ben Affleck refused to wear it. He was like, "I love you, David, but I'm not wearing this cap."
Why did it take him 4 days to get another one?
I don't know. That's what confused me. It was IMDb trivia. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah. But it said it was 4 days, right? 4-day halt.
Damn. Also knowing Fincher, he could just... I guess it's the act of wearing it.
Yeah, it literally he wouldn't put it on, which is amazing to me.
Because you would just CGI it out, right?
Yeah. But I mean, Ben Affleck's so good. He's so good in this, right? And it's a really difficult role as well because you don't understand why people are like vindicating him the way they do, right?
No.
But it's like he doesn't help himself,
No,
right?
no.
Which is what's so good about it, because it's so frustrating to watch.
But then, and at the beginning, before the reveal, you go, oh, maybe he is.
Yeah, you do question it, right?
Like, maybe, I don't like him.
There is a second where you think, this guy, like, he's not acting the way you would think he would act.
No. But by the end, you feel so bad.
But at the same time, that's what the media does, right? The media's like, well, he's not acting the way we socially accept people to react when they should be grieving, right?
Yeah.
And immediately prey upon him. And it's like,
Yeah.
well, the dude hasn't done, like, he's not the best dude in the world.
No.
Absolutely far from the best dude in the world.
He does cheat on her. That's the one thing for real happens.
So, not a good dude.
No.
But it's the fact that, like, people jump on him so quickly.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And it's like, what is that like to have, like, literally everyone on your back?
Yeah.
It's just, it's similar to the Thomas Vinterberg's The Hunt.
I haven't seen it.
Is
I've heard about it.
A similar thing, and like literally without really much evidence.
Yeah, he does something to a kid, right? Like that's
a kid says
like
he's done something, right?
Yeah.
And they just jump on him, and it ruins his life.
I really want to see that.
And The Hunt is far more grueling.
Yeah,
and it's like oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
But
and he's awesome in this.
He's amazing. It's incredible. But Gone Girl's like, it obviously has like, it's not as it doesn't feel as particularly gritty because you've got Fincher's style as well.
Yeah,
but just the way like things are slowly unveiled, like to you, like breadcrumbs, and maybe it's not quite as, it's elaborate, but it's explaining to you it's elaborate.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's never saying, oh well, these are all the clues you could pick up on early on. Like,
well, because there is an investigation going on, right?
Sure, but but it does explain it to you. Like it doesn't feel like it's trying to be anything particularly super smart.
No,
but it is.
It is. It absolutely is. It's a very slow burn.
It is.
To the last half hour.
Yeah,
is terrifying.
We were so uncomfortable.
I hate it.
Like because Rosamund Pike is like, she's great.
Yeah,
I love her in everything.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And she's never. I haven't seen her do something like this before.
Me neither.
Especially prior to.
She's always so like fun.
Yeah, I mean, World's End. She's great.
Yeah.
She's so wholesome.
Yeah,
she's so lovable.
Made in Dagenham. You get the like power, right?
Sure, but she is terrifying.
She is.
Like, I didn't want to be in a room with her.
No.
I mean, I've seen it before, obviously, but it's been a while. Since 2014, I've seen it. And just when you're on your own with her, I don't like. You just don't trust the things she does. Like. Awful. She's like, she's just a Ben Affleck's character. She's like, come sleep with me. I'm like, don't do that.
No.
And I like that. I like also that he's not like, okay. And
no.
He's a smart character, right? Like,
one of my favorite bits about it is that the police officer doesn't believe that she hasn't done anything.
Yeah, that's one of the most frustrating parts in a lot of detective shows or crime films, right? It's like you think, come on, like you wouldn't buy that, right?
Yeah, but she's like,
she's the one character that's like sees right through it,
and it's a whole that comment like that's paralleled to the media thing, how she thinks of him because she trusts him a lot.
Yeah. But then there is a point where she doesn't, right?
Yeah,
like she loses faith in him. She's like, I genuinely think you killed him. Yeah, I killed her, right? But like, it's just
it's a great line where he goes, "Are we friends back? Are we friends again?"
Yeah,
she goes,
like, well,
now that I know that you didn't kill her, yeah.
Yeah, it's like she's a great character.
Which is that's what you should do when cases like this,
sense.
right?
But it's just
you can talk about this in connection to like cancel culture. This film, like it's everything.
But
it's
so well handled. It's so delicately handled as well.
Yeah.
And Rosamund Pike, she has such a difficult job. Both of them have a difficult job, but Rosamund Pike's character is extremely complex to act. Anyway, I would imagine as a non-actor. But it's phenomenal. Like, there are scenes where you just like, there's some horrific moments.
Yeah. It's the scariest film I've ever seen. I think so. Because it could happen.
That's what's
there is
scary
not
about it.
a moment where I think of people I know and go, oh, they couldn't go insane and do something like this.
Terrifying stuff in it.
Even
really
you
terrifying.
Could do something like this now.
I'd whack myself with a hammer.
Yeah.
Just stuff like that. You think, oh, why?
Everyone has the stuff in their power to do what she does to him. And that terrifies me.
It is though, right?
Because even with serial killers who are like grounded in reality, you still need to, like some like weapons and shit. Yeah. Like you need to do something physical to a person. Sure. But she gets out of it free of anything.
Yeah, and it's so, like she's so intelligent, which is all the scarier.
She is.
Right? Because you just know. You're like constantly just thinking she's either completely one step ahead of you, right? The entire time. Yeah. Maybe even a few steps ahead of you.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I'm like, when he walks back into that house at the end, you're like, that's a trap.
Yeah.
Like 100%. And it's like, the way he has to play up to the media, like, hello, come back,
We're
my
great.
wife, my darling wife.
Yeah,
It's
we're
like,
gonna have a kid.
oh my god, it's
awful.
great. It's so well done.
Yeah. Did you say there was a sequel to the book? Because that'd be interesting. I don't think there is.
I don't want to say there's a sequel, just in case. She be gone again.
Gone Girls.
Twice. Gone Girl again. I don't know. Like, I honestly, I thought there might be, but I don't know how you do it.
It would make sense
if they did
to go back onto the characters.
But the
I don't think there is.
Symmetry of the first and last scene is great.
Beautiful. It's
great, and just the look she gives you, like,
yeah, what have we done to each other?
Oh.
And it's so true about every marriage, right? Not that I know of.
As a married man.
As a married man.
No, I genuinely, it's scary.
Yeah.
It is scary.
It is terrifying.
But it does feel real. Like, I believe, like, that's, I guess that's a testament to their chemistry and lack thereof chemistry.
Yeah.
That it's so believable.
And there's a moment, because there's the whole thing about he abuses her, but it's not real, right? Mm-hmm. When he actually does at the end.
Yeah.
It hits so hard.
It does. It does. Like, you.
And he calls her a cunt. It's great.
It's great.
It's such a never ever. This sentence is gonna haunt me for life. Never ever abuse have been so like satisfying.
Oh my god.
But it is. It's so. It builds up to that moment because he's so not.
Because he's so
keeping it together.
Right?
He is. He's keeping it together so well.
That the whole thing.
But
then he just
when the
explodes.
baby thing. But it's the baby thing, right?
Yeah.
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 I think it is. She goes, yeah, I'm pregnant.
No, it's not just
is it
them.
not?
That's not just them.
I think it is.
I can't remember. It's as they're leaving the.
It's a moment where he
before the interview, right? It's just before the interview. I think they're
it's a bit where he snaps, which makes total sense.
But it is satisfying to see because it's like finally he. When you see
when he pushes her at the beginning, you go, "This doesn't make sense for the character,"
yeah.
even though he's very sketchy and dodge.
Doesn't make sense, and I'm just liking him.
Yeah, exactly, which is also cool.
Yeah,
to do.
But it's
it's
really well. It's really well done.
And you can, if you watch the first hour, you can have the reading that, oh, what an awful guy.
Yeah,
and she's just been
just the length she goes to cover it up.
It's fucking awesome,
terrifying. But it's not David Fincher's best film. I think it's far from David Fincher's best film.
Fair enough.
But that's a testament to how good he is.
Yeah,
right.
I really like it. I think it might be my favorite Fincher.
Damn.
I think I prefer Zodiac, but I've only seen Zodiac once.
Same. And I still prefer Social Network. And
fuck
7.
yeah! Never mind.
Forget about Social Network.
I always forget Social Network.
Always.
Social Network is
Don't
the
forget
best.
about the fucky flip flops.
Yeah. Never.
That film. Yeah. I could talk about Social Network forever.
I could.
But
that might be a recommendation at some point.
Good.
Yeah.
Dude's on fire. You have to watch Mindhunter.
I will.
Because it really is incredible.
Is it all directed by him?
No, he directed I think 7 episodes of it, something like that. He's directed a lot, and Andrew Dominic directed some as well. Do you know Andrew Dominic, guy who did Jesse James?
Yeah.
And Killing Them Softly.
Yeah.
He's doing Marilyn as well.
He is,
which I'm very excited for. But it's so well directed. It's super well shot as well. It's just
it is. It's so intricate.
It's like the biggest Fincher fix of all time.
It's so good.
But
and she is again insane.
She's so good. That moment where Neil Patrick Harris dies.
Yeah.
I am in love with the score. The Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. Oh.
And the editing is great.
It is. Scene. It's horrifying because it's so like not the rest of the film.
No.
It feels completely
It never
different.
does that.
It never
But
does
it makes sense.
But the kind of the intercut blacks in between.
Yeah.
It's like each frame comes
back. It
back.
fades as well.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
It's like fading in and out of consciousness really quickly.
Yeah.
And then like each flash is almost like it reminded me of like a crime scene investigation. You know when people take pictures of crime scenes, it's like that's a picture.
And he's dying.
And like different stages of death. And it's like, oh my god, that's horrible.
And it's like slurping out blood.
It's awful. And the score. Like I remember saying to you about an hour in that the score is really subtle.
Yeah.
And I hadn't really picked up on it too much. Mm-hmm. And then immediately after
there's a couple of moments that are very thin.
There's some very, very Reznor and Ross moments in there. And it's beautiful.
9 Inch Nails.
I would absolutely listen to it again. It's great. It's really great.
Gone Girl.
Gone Girl.
Oh.
Now I'm very excited to talk about Burning.
Me too. It's
a
masterpiece.
It's insane.
It's in my brain forever now.
It's crazy though.
Yeah.
Because I mean, Burning, as I said earlier, Burning's been on my radar for a long, long time.
Mm-hmm.
Like as soon as it came out and we were hearing buzz about it, I was like, I need to watch it, right? And now it does feel weird being
that
in a
we've seen it.
post-burning world,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It is one of those. I think there's a Letterboxd list about it. Like, you are not the same person once the film is over.
Yeah,
it's one of those.
And it's also not even just the effect of it, but also the fact that it's just it was one of those I had on my watch list and I was like, I'll get around to that, and then you never show you are, right? But
and now you've seen it.
Yeah, and
now you see me too.
Now you see me too. I don't know. I don't know where you start with Burning because I literally knew nothing about it. Other than the keyword vanish. I knew nothing.
Right, I'd seen the first 2 hours, which doesn't really mean anything with this film. Because it's a completely different film once it's done. Like, you look back on it.
Which is what's
with
so
a
great
different
about it.
lens.
Absolutely.
So
I always admire when you can do that.
Oh, but so yeah, watching the first 2 hours, I was like, oh, what's the buzz about? I don't get it. Nothing really has happened.
Sure.
Like, and you can see why I thought that.
No, I get that.
However,
but it's odd because it's.
I could watch it. I could watch that first hour where nothing really, it hasn't kicked in yet. Mm-hmm. I could watch that forever. It's so nice.
That's what was so strange about it, because I was thinking like an hour and a half in, and I knew we had a fair bit left.
Yeah,
like at least
it's
40
a long
minutes
film.
left, and I was thinking, like not too much is happening, but I'm like so on board.
Yeah.
It's just like the mood that's created.
It's just knowing that people were calling it like so haunting and shit. Like,
but see, I didn't really remember any of that. I just remembered it was good. I didn't even know what genre it was, or what genre inflections it had, and it was just like I just remember. I just know it was a slow burn, right? Mm-hmm. And it's slow burning, and it's and it had Stephen Yeun in it, right?
Yeah,
and
who is insane. People were saying he was robbed of awards in general.
It's the film is so brilliant.
It is,
and the way it leads you, the way it leads you into a false sense of security as well. Oh. Because that I think, which is that film is so patient, and it asks you to be so patient. Yeah, right. And I can understand why some people don't like it, but like if you struggled with it and maybe didn't finish it, please finish it, because and maybe you don't love the ending, right? But the way it builds up,
and the way it literally flips the whole thing on you,
and it's crazy because it doesn't even like hugely flip it on you, really.
No,
like, it's not
no.
Yeah,
everything that's happened is still.
It makes sense.
Yeah,
right. It's not like you missed this. It's like
it's not a twist.
It presents to you like a series of events.
Yeah,
and then afterwards you think, oh. And then look at it in a different lens, right? It doesn't. It's not like they swap the lens out, right?
It's not like what's a plot twist in a film.
But it's any twist, right? It's not like a Sixth Sense kind of thing.
When you look back,
you think,
that makes sense now.
But you think
he never sat.
Wait,
on the chair.
what if like this happened, right? And you think, oh wait, and the way.
And we talked about it for a while after it.
We did, which is one of my favorite things to do, especially with a film like that. Yeah. Right. Like you immediately want to discuss it.
Immediately. And try to unpack it, because it did finish, and I was like, what?
Because I was saying to you, like, if it was an hour and a half,
and it was just the last hour and a half.
I would even say if the film itself was an hour and a half, but the pacing was tightened up, right? No, just like on its own, it would feel like weirdly dense.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is odd, because I've seen a lot of people say not too much happens in it, right?
Yeah.
But that pacing like relaxes you,
in
a really manipulative way.
Eases you to then get you on
and it's kind of frightening because it works so well. And
I've never seen a filmmaker take control of the audience so well.
See, I have that, which is one of the reasons I think Blade Runner 2049 is so brilliant, because it's like they know exactly what you're thinking the entire time, and then they play upon it, right? And
I mean, I say I've never seen, like, obviously it happens, but
no, but like it's one of my favorite things they do when they are very aware
of what's happening in the audience.
Like, especially when they have a twist, and they make you think something, flip you back, and then make you think it again.
Because it's so good. Because I was like, oh, maybe I'm not getting this, but I was absolutely getting it.
Yeah, that's
like you read theories and you go, oh, I did pick up on that.
Yeah, I picked up all of that.
Yeah,
but you're just not quite noticing because of the way the film's done. Like it's so. It's got so much time to breathe. It does. And you have so much time to think about everything. Yeah. That to the point where you might be overthinking everything as well. Mm-hmm. You might be like, am I paying too much attention to this?
But every line is crucial.
But every line and every moment feels so important. Or as a potential clue to solving a puzzle that it doesn't necessarily want you to solve.
And it's not pretentious at all. Which the pretentious word, like the whole conversation of pretentiousness.
I mean, don't love that word.
I know. But you know what I mean. It's not. It's not like.
It doesn't think it's smart.
It's not. It's not. It is a very clever film, It's not like an intellectual.
It doesn't think it's smarter than you, which is I think the best part.
No.
Like it says, well, here's all the information you have, right? And then what you get out of it at the end is what you get out of it.
Yeah,
right?
it reminds me of Parasite.
You can. It's less accessible than Parasite.
It is, but it's still really, really like straightforward. I think
to an extent.
There's
Parasite isn't
flying around.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
I hate it.
Parasite isn't particularly like. What's brilliant about Parasite is surface level. It's really entertaining, right?
Yeah.
Which Burning isn't. On surface level,
I guess.
You know what I mean?
It does surprise me it wasn't as big. Obviously, like the comparison is there because they're both Korean. They're both shot by the same guy,
and it looks beautiful.
And it does look beautiful.
But there's like you can.
It shocks me that it didn't get massive recognition.
It did really well.
Yeah, but it didn't get an Oscar nom.
No, but that was 2018.
The Shoplifters, right? That's not the one they sent.
You need to watch Shoplifters.
Shoplifters is Korean, right?
I don't know if it is. Is it?
I think it is.
I don't think it is.
Is it not?
I might be dead wrong.
Look this up.
Yeah, please do. I'm not sure. I'm not sure it is. Although you should definitely watch Shoplifters.
Yeah, I should.
But Burning's like just. I don't even know how to describe it.
It's Japanese.
Japanese.
Damn.
Yeah. Because it's like an Ozu movie.
Yeah. I thought that's why it didn't get sent then, but then it makes no sense. How did they not? They might have pushed it forward and then just the Academy didn't.
Didn't really don't know. But it's so beautiful and it's pretty hard to make like urban Korea look ugly because their architecture is so pretty, so pretty, and it's like I'm just looking at it like, oh my god,
it looks awesome. Even it's very clusterful and it's not like clean.
No, but like the shapes of everything is so interesting.
Yeah, when you see a film set in Tokyo, or when you go to Tokyo, which I haven't, but everything's like so clean and like so like modern and minimalist and stuff.
Yeah.
Which Seoul isn't. Like it's very like there's a lot of stuff going on.
It's the film's like far more urban than I thought it was.
Yeah.
Like I thought it was going to be this really like very naturalistic kind of like well, just staying very, very much outside of the city, right? And it balances it really well. And the production.
Well, there's the whole thing about social class.
Oh yeah, there's absolutely a commentary on social class in there, like the between right, like
we haven't even talked about the characters yet.
We haven't talked about what it's about.
No, not really.
We just rambled about how clever it is. But I don't even know. My problem is with describing the plot is I don't know what you'd want to reveal.
Well, we're spoiling it, right?
I know, but like just as a...
But it's also a thing that you have your own... I think we have the same interpretation.
I think we do as well.
Because I like the idea...
Well,
right.
let's... So the central idea was this guy, Jong-soo, is dealing with his dad who's got some like... He's facing like legal issues, right? He's done something.
Yeah.
And... he meets this girl
in the middle of
Seoul. Like the street, in the middle of Seoul, and she recognizes him from when he was younger, right? From when they were in high school together, right? She
had surgery done.
She had surgery, because he bullied her so much.
That is rough.
It's rough. That really is rough. Like, oh yeah, I remember you. You bullied me a lot.
Yeah.
Right. And then they kind of reconnect.
And they.
And it's like
they're together.
Yeah, well done. They reconnect together, right? And then slowly you're wondering what's happening, right? Like it's a very slow,
asks him
meandering.
She's going to Africa. She's like a very free spirit.
Yeah, she's like, I'm just
trying to find herself,
live life, right? Yeah. And
he's
kind of stuck. He doesn't really know what's happening, right?
But he's a delivery man.
Yeah, he's like very like he wants to be a writer.
Yeah.
And he's working on something, every writer.
Yeah.
And then, but he's not really doing too much, and he's kind of closed off, right?
Yeah.
And then you kind of slowly you're wondering where this film is going. It's kind of meandering, right? Every detail, though.
It's genius.
Like, listen, right? Listen to it. And Stephen Yeun slowly gets introduced. As,
she goes to Africa, meets Stephen Yeun.
And comes back.
And comes back with him.
And Stephen Yeun's like this upper class, very rich, young rich dude, right?
Yeah. You don't really know what he does for a living.
No, and it's kind of those three navigating like
life.
Yeah, navigating life, right? And
and it's the whole jealousy. It's like, kind of like a love triangle, but not really. It doesn't lean into that, but
there's like something.
There's definitely the whole.
And
they're both jealous of each other.
Yeah, there's hints of jealousy and longing.
Yeah. And I was reading about it. There's a really good gay reading to it.
Is there?
Yeah, that suggests that Ben is really into Jung-soo.
Interesting. So basically the ending.
Yeah.
it kind of morphs maybe an hour. I want to say like an hour and a half into essentially a psychological thriller, and it does it so slowly as well.
She vanishes,
which is she vanishes. Tenuous link. She vanishes, and after that beautiful like hypnotic dance in the sunset, which is the poster. To Miles Davis, and it's the best thing ever. It's my new favorite thing.
It is great.
It's my new favorite thing. And she disappears, and then you have this kind of really odd genre morph.
Yeah, it stops being about her, the film.
Yeah,
which I think is really cool.
And Stephen Yeun becomes so intimidating.
Yeah,
but it's so slowly, and it's done. It creeps up on you so much.
Yeah.
And it went from Stephen Yeun was the coolest guy ever to, has he done something?
Yeah.
And then...
we were like, I would smoke with him. I would do anything. If Stephen Yeun asked me to do anything,
Stephen Yeun asked me to smoke pot, I would, right? It was oh, okay. And I'm like, maybe I wouldn't smoke pot with Stephen Yeun anymore. Yeah. And it was like just a slow transition into this psychological thriller that genuinely became extremely unnerving.
It is.
Really unnerving.
A good linking thing between Gone Girl and this.
Like to the point where I was like, I don't want to be in the same room as this guy. I don't want to be anywhere, which is very similar to Gone Girl.
Yeah,
so it was quite a good link.
But then it switches it up and goes, maybe you don't want to be in the same room as Jung-soo either.
Yeah, right. Maybe you're like, why am I here?
Because he might be the one that's gone insane.
So the ending is right. Like she's Hamey.
I don't
know how you say her name, but I'm gonna say Hamey. Right? Yeah. She disappears.
It's like Hamey.
Yeah, Hamey. Okay.
I think you have to pronounce all of it like Hamey.
Yeah. Okay. So Hamey disappears.
Yeah.
For a while. It's been an hour.
Yeah.
Right? And then by the end, you start to get this really horrible moments where you think he's Ben Stephen Yeun's character has killed her.
Yeah.
Right?
It's clear. You find clues. It's I think I was reading this and Mark Kermode talks about this. On his, have you seen his review?
I haven't seen his review.
Mark Kermode talks about this. He says that it plays with you so well because you start seeing clues like the watch and stuff, but you go, is that a clue? Or because it's so long, is that a clue, or did you just forget when? Did I forget when that became not a clue?
It's great. It messes with you so much, and then so by the end, Jung-soo kills Ben. Yeah, right.
He tricks, which is really cool. He tricks him, telling him that he is with Jaime.
Yeah,
and they meet up in the middle of nowhere, and
he just stabs him.
Yeah,
a lot.
Yeah,
and then sets his car on fire.
Yeah. And that's it ends.
And like immediately afterwards, I was like, "Oh, like I don't know how to look at that, right?" Because I was reading some reviews, and it was like, "Oh, well, the implication there, or the pretty clear implication, is that Ben killed Hayami, right?
Yeah,
and Ben has killed other people, and that burning greenhouses
is actually a metaphor for killing.
Is a euphemism for killing people, right?" Yeah.
Because there's
there's
scene,
a whole parallel between a greenhouse and a person.
Yeah, how they're breathing, leaving person.
That kind of thing.
There's a scene. The big scene is when Ben reveals to Jung-soo that his hobby is burning greenhouses.
Yeah. And you immediately think, wow, that's a weird hobby.
Yeah.
I was like, all right.
I'm still on board,
Stephen Yeun, though.
What a great guy.
I was like, fair enough, it's a crime, but okay.
Yeah.
And it's like,
he explains, you can see that scene if you swap out burning greenhouses for killing
people.
If you swap out burning greenhouses to killing people.
Yeah.
It makes sense because he goes, I don't see it as a crime. It's like the nature of life.
But yeah,
and he says, I was thinking about this, I go to abandoned greenhouses and burn them down, and he goes to abandoned people. Because, there's various readings of this film, right? There's the reading that he killed her.
Yeah, see, this was what was interesting. See, how do you say the director's name?
I honestly don't know.
I'm going to look it up because I feel like I need to credit that dude because he's insane.
He is insane.
So he said there was 2 readings of it, right? Mm-hmm. And I didn't have either of them.
I like a mixture of both.
Yeah, it's a mix, right? So the director is Lee Chang-dong.
Lee Chang-dong,
right? Lee Chang-dong. Amazing.
I really want to get into more of his stuff.
I cannot wait to watch more of his stuff.
Yeah.
But his 2 readings were, the first one was that Ben was the killer, right? Yeah. That Ben killed him, and then Jung-soo's got onto him and then killed him. Right?
Yeah, for revenge or hero.
And then his other one, which I thought was really interesting, was that
Jung-soo is writing a book throughout the whole thing, right? He's writing. Yeah,
Jung-soo's a writer, and the second half of the film is essentially the book he's writing.
Yeah, people say that once she is gone. Because she does leave.
Yeah, after Jaime leaves,
he is because she leaves because he calls her a whore.
Yeah.
So she's like pissed. That reading suggests that she's pissed off and leaves.
Yeah.
So he, in order to not have to deal with the fact that he's the fact she's left, he writes this explanation.
It's a fantasy version of him essentially vindicating this upper class dude who he was jealous of.
Yeah, right?
and which I thought was really interesting.
The whole book thing, I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I mean, I think the director says that is it.
Yeah, and I read
which I think is weird.
It is odd. It's an interesting take, I guess.
My read and
we have the same read.
What I want to believe is that Ben didn't kill her. She just left. But it's not he actually kills Ben.
Yeah.
I think he absolutely kills Ben.
I think we have the same thing. So he absolutely kills Ben.
Yeah.
And he basically convinced himself.
Yeah, that he killed
that
her.
He wasn't at fault and that he killed Jaime.
Yeah. Because there's a moment where Ben goes, "Oh, you wanted to talk to me about Jaime," and he goes, "I don't need to anymore." Which is when he's fully convinced. He's found two very tenuous links that say, "Oh, Ben killed her." Mm-hmm. To just go, "Okay, I'm gonna kill you now," which is genius. Because every single thing, I do use genius a lot,
all the time.
But
everything's genius.
This film is genius.
It's very smart.
Because every single nod to Ben being a killer is very
well. That's what's special about it is you can look at every clue, like as either a coincidence or just, you're fact checking yourself. Yeah, like I guess what Commode said, right? Yeah, it's like, am I just misremembering? Yeah. Or is that actually a thing? Or that I'm either overthinking it, or that is 100% what's happening, right? Because it does play heavy on the fact that Ben is the killer, right? Mm-hmm. Like there's the whole cat in the boiler goes missing, and there's the watch in the bathroom and stuff.
The watch is
and you're like, oh boy, he has, right? He totally has.
But then there's the weird scene where he just puts makeup on a girl.
Yeah, but the thing, like, I just love the reading that he couldn't handle the fact that she didn't want to be with him.
So
he was
put it all on
well, it's obviously this upper class student.
Yeah, which also says a lot about class.
It's great.
And I like that he's mysterious, so mysterious that it could literally be just a weird guy.
Well, that's the thing, because it's like...
Because rich people are weird, right?
Stephen Yeun is like incredibly handsome dude, right? Incredibly likable as well. They don't not Stephen Yeun himself. I mean, but like the character of Ben, they don't give him anything unlikable. No, which immediately presents himself as like a Patrick Bateman kind of thing. Yeah, like on surface level, because you think, oh, this dude's like super chill, like you don't really. It's like almost sociopathic, right? You think, well, that guy can't be real. Yeah, like it's like he's a rich dude who's incredibly nice, and and you think, something's up, right? Yeah. And they never give you anything to doubt him until an hour and a half in. And you start to think, oh, maybe there is. Maybe I've been looking at it wrong. Until he starts burning houses. Burning greenhouses, right? But it's just the way it's done. I just really love that kind of that long pace, or really slow pace to make you think.
Maybe.
To make you overthink everything. Yeah. Or not even pay attention
to it. Overthink what you're overthinking.
And underthink as well, because you're not really paying attention to it. But on rewatch, I can see it being way more rewarding. Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of it twice. Yeah. And, but obviously you don't pick up on it. Like, I was saying during the beginning of the film, like, this is so annoying, because I was saying that during Gone Girl as well, because there are obviously two films that are very rewarding when you rewatch, knowing the twist. Yeah. Or what it's really about. But Gone Girl, it'd been a while since I'd seen it. So, like, I didn't really pick up on anything. And this one, I hadn't finished it, so I couldn't pick up on stuff at all.
And the score is so subtle.
It is.
I absolutely love it. Yeah. Like, there was, like, this motif they had, and it was so subtle. Just while he was driving around, and it was, like, this kind of... like haunting. Detective noir kind of thing. Especially with the Miles Davis thing as well. Like, that's what I really loved about it as well, how slowly it mutates throughout. Because it starts off as, like, a meandering... okay, this is going to be slow, but I'm not sure where this is going.
Well, it's based on a Murakami short
which I don't know anything
story.
About.
I love him. I've read a lot of Kafka on the Shore. I never finished it.
Nice.
But I've read a lot of his short stuff, like short stories, and I really like Murakami. And if you know about Murakami, and you see I literally got so excited when I saw it was based on Murakami's short story, because you go, oh, this is what this is going to be like. It's like a very slow. Things not really happen, but it will get really like mysterious. He always does that. And
like there's some just how slowly it goes from like meandering to a noir where you're like, oh, like he's he's investigating stuff, right? And you think, this is like,
it's so
noir. I'm loving this. Like, it's so noir. And then it goes to like, and then when it switches to psychological thriller, I'm like, oh boy, like I'm really loving this. And then by the end you think,
that was great.
Like, oh my god. Yeah. But
So, yeah.
I think it's brilliant. I love it when you can talk about a film afterwards and dissect like every little thing about
every
it.
single thing.
And it holds up to scrutiny as well.
Yeah.
And
there's no plot holes.
And it's not ambiguous for the sake of ambiguity as well.
I hate the whole plot hole thing, right? Sure. But this film has none.
That I'm aware of.
I honestly.
But the thing is, it's hard to have a plot hole when you're so ambiguous, right? Because there's no definitive answer, so you can't really. So you just have to theorize, right? And I always like ambiguity in films, right? Same. I like talking about it. I've got some friends who aren't big fan.
As much as we love being clear, we talked about this, right?
Yeah, but
ambiguity is overrated. We said the other day.
Yeah, we were talking about like there's nothing wrong with being overt in what you're trying to say, right? Stating your theme or whatever. But I do like subtlety in a film. Yeah, right?
Same. And this is the
nothing wrong with either of them. I think if you do it right, it can be great.
Yeah.
Because there's things that I'm watching. I'm like, this is either far too subtle and I'm just missing the point, and I'm not smart enough to watch it, or like something so overt it's screaming at you in the face, right? And some films, Sorry to Bother You is like great, because it's like
it's just
an absolute like explosion, right? It's like, this is what I'm saying, and I'm like, don't give a shit.
Yeah.
But Burning just feels so calculated. Yeah. To the point where I'm like, why is the opening shot the way it is?
Yeah.
There must be some meaning.
There has to be a meaning.
There might not be, which is maybe...
It might be the point. That there's nothing... That he was like, let's start this film with a weird shot.
I'm not going to be a 14-year-old English student that's that's what it means. The 2/3 of the lorry taking up the shot. But I don't know.
And then he appears.
What does that mean? The first thing you see is smoke. Smoke. Fire. Burning.
Damn. It's all there.
So thank you for coming to the Burning Explained podcast.
So that's Burning for you. Just watch it. It's great.
I mean, hopefully you've seen it and you haven't just listened to us spoil the shit out of it and stuff.
And if you have seen it, watch it again.
I cannot wait to watch it again.
Me too.
Honestly, so great, so great. I think I'd like it even more.
Yeah, same.
But
should we give our ratings for both films?
Sure.
We haven't.
Okay, go on then. So we'll do Gone Girl first.
Yeah, well, Gone Girl is a 10 for me.
10 out of 10.
Yep. 10 out of 10.
Sure. I'd give Gone Girl. I'd give it a very good 9. Right.
Yeah.
I think the ending, as tight as the whole thing is, the ending feels a little bit like it's not bad. It's not. I didn't want to call it messy because it's really not messy.
No.
Because all the scenes are important, but I just think you can, like, it could be even tighter. Right.
Yeah.
I think you could do it in less scenes. And it's just the fact that. It's like 3 days gone, 4 days gone. Then it's like a week, 2 days, and another day, and another day. And you're like, okay, we're jumping along.
Well, they have to wrap up the whole like Tyler Perry stuff.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like I get it, but it surprised me that how long it had left.
Yeah,
even at the end for a film that I
thought it was done.
Yeah, like like 2 hours in or 2 hours 15 minutes in, I was like, this is pretty much over, and there was about 15 minutes left.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Like, it's great. I'm never bored in it.
Yeah, 9 out of 10.
But 9. Great score. Cool. Great score. Yeah. Burning.
I gave it a very high 9. I think it will easily. It might even turn a 10 before I even rewatch it.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a very strong 9. Strong 9, right?
Yeah. My only flaw with it is that it's so much. Like, it's so overwhelming that it is kind of like. But once you unpack it, I think mine will turn into a 10.
Sure. It's just brilliant.
As soon as I rewatch it, like it's.
Yeah, it's just one I want to read about more.
It's a masterpiece. I think it's a masterpiece.
It's really, really great.
It's up there with Roma for that year.
Down.
I think it's genius.
It's no Roma.
No, nothing's Roma.
Roma's like nothing's next level.
Yeah. But it's great.
It is really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
That's it. Burning Girl.
That was
handled.
Yeah, Burning Girl handled. Random name generator. Random name, random word.
Random name generator.
Steve.
Ben. Okay, wait. Right, are we ready?
I am. I'm going to go on Letterboxd to find a film as well.
You're going to go on Letterboxd? Lecture.
Damn.
Oh, boy.
Oh, I know what I'm doing.
Stressed. Lecture.
Lecture. The word is lecture, everybody.
The word is lecture. I'm going to go with enemy.
Okay. And
How do you feel about that?
Fine, because I've seen it recently, but I want to watch it again.
Okay.
And I'm going to go with one we've both seen as well.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Arrival. Same director.
Oh, no. Okay, so...
Here we go. It's a Denis double whammy.
Amazing. Okay.
I do want to rewatch Enemy because I've...
Okay, so I didn't realize it was going to be a Denis
double whammy.
Episode. So what is it?
Oof.
Ooh, that's tough. We might have fucked it.
Enemy arriving.
Nope.
Nope.
No!
We have to match the words somehow.
Why did we do this?
Enema. Oh no. Our enemy. Our enemy. Our enemy. Our enemy.
Our enemy.
Our enemy.
Our enemy.
Our enemy. Our enemy.
I hate it, but thank you.
Arivnemy. Arivnemy. I like arivnemy.
Arivnemy.
Arivnemy is cool. Sounds like a
what a catchy third episode.
Like an ancient chant. Arivnemy.
Arivnemy.
Oh yeah, and also third episode we're going to be talking about some Sundance films because for my birthday, which was the other day, I got
happy birthday.
Oh, happy birthday! I got a pass for like virtual Sundance, whatever. Yeah. And they're showing 3 films that we'll talk about, so that'll be next episode.
Super fun.
Arivnemy and 3 Sundance films.
I guess look out for Arivnemy.
Yeah, keep yourselves peeled.
Keep yourself peeled for Arivnemy. Oh,
I'm excited for those too.
So yeah, Arrival and Enemy, you've probably seen them both, but absolutely rewatch them.
Yeah.
For some Denis Villeneuve lectures, I guess.
Yeah.
So hopefully you've enjoyed. This has been the more structured episode.
It's been long, but yeah.
Yeah, so Burning Girl wrapped up. Palm Springs talked about.
Yeah.
So
Nathan
hopefully
for You talked about.
So it's next week, Sundance stuff.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure we'll touch upon very briefly, but I mean, we can go into
unless we love them.
We'll see.
Unless we
and Arrival and Enemy.
Arivnemy.
Love it. So catchy.
Yep.
Look out for Arivnemy. All
Keep yourselves peeled and join us on the next episode of the Boynish Podcast.
Thank you.
Good night.
Perfect.